and if bad things happen, they happen. All right, everyone, let's get started. It is April 22nd. Welcome to the bi-weekly SIG Contributor Experience. Community, what do we call this thing? This is like this is our main meeting that we have every 2 weeks and figure out
our standard bi-weekly meeting.
Our standard bi-weekly meeting. So real quick before we start, is there anyone here on the call who is new who wants to introduce themselves?
I can.
Yeah,
hey, I'm Pierre. I do office hours with George, like I try to attend it. And yeah, senior software architect, do it on my day, working lots of Kubernetes.
Dope. Anybody else? Josh Burkus, I see you've joined us not as a UUID. So I think, did you find out what the problem was? I have to know.
Well, I didn't find out what the problem was. I accidentally found out how to solve it in the process of borking my Zoom account.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I wasn't that interested. Only mildly interested. All right. Welcome, Josh. Anybody else? Anyone not been here in a while? Hippie Hacker, you want to say hello real quick? And I know you're in an off time zone, so.
Sure. Good. Very, very early morning from 4:30 in New Zealand. I am interested in doing the mentoring. So I've been in the sub project and kind of just rolling up to see what else happens in ContribEx at the level.
Okay, awesome. All right, so Bob has posted the agenda in the chat. What we're going to do is go through the agenda. A lot of our agenda is templated. That means we basically go subproject to subproject to subproject, give a quick status report. And then the main thing that we're doing today is a continuation of the triage for our milestones for 1.19. So just to give you a quick 30,000 foot view, all of our milestones for 1.18 are done. We're currently putting things into 1.19 milestone. And we got most of the way through it last time. So some of our boards are looking good. And there's some still stuff that we need to go through. And then at the bottom, we have before we get to that board, because that might run over time, we have an open mic discussion section in the notes. So if you want to put a little status update on the thing you're working on, or asking for help, or anything else in the meeting that you would find useful, toss it there in the open mic discussion, and we will get to that. In the meantime, we are going to crank through the templated agenda. So as a reminder, this is a Kubernetes meeting, so the code of conduct is in effect, so please be excellent to each other. All the new contributors have introduced themselves. So the first thing is office hours, and Pierre is going to give us a status update for this one.
Hey, so we are planning on doing a themed office hours in the next couple of weeks. The theme topic will most likely be ingress. PB did like a big list of open ingress questions aggregated across like Slack, Stack Overflow, and so on. And we are going to SIG Network tomorrow, me and George, and saying hello there, and hoping to find people that can assist with running that particular office hours.
Any questions for Pierre or office hours in general? Next up is me with the community meeting. We have a host and they're penciled in, and then Lori's penciled in for the month after. The community meeting planning actually doesn't start until the first of the month, so we are looking really good there. Next, contributors, any questions on community meeting? If I am going way too fast, let me know, or you can click on the participants there. There's a little button that says go slower if you want to give me the hint. Contributor Summit, Bob.
So for folks that didn't see the news already, the Netherlands has extended the ban on large events. So this means that KubeCon Amsterdam and the Contributor Summit will both be virtual. We will probably get some announcement to go out next week on that one. The other thing is the save the date for Boston is live. Please don't advertise this heavily yet. We want to get the comms and everything out regarding Amsterdam before we start pushing Boston. And that should be it.
Any questions for Contributor Summit? And those meetings are still happening on the Mondays, right? Got it.
Yep.
Okay. Next, steering committee election. This looks like you, Paris?
Paris is not on the call. She cannot make it. She just
I saw her typing. Okay.
Yeah, she's
right.
I think double booked.
Got you. Okay, so here's the deal. once a year we have a steering committee election. And what happens is steering selects election officers to run the election. It's a very important role. The problem is that Bob and I this would be our second election. I think I've done 3. Paris can't do it anymore because she's on steering. So that leaves us with Ihor and Brian Grant with the only people who are experienced to run elections. We've written down a bunch of stuff and we have notes. The problem is that Bob and I being co-chairs here and doing blog reviews for Kubernetes and things like that, we were thinking that if we were going to be together working on something else, that it would absolutely take a bunch of time away from doing this. So if you're interested in becoming steering election officers, you don't have to say anything here. That's a decision you want to make. Maybe should we just have them ping Paris, you think, at first? Because steering selects them.
Steering selects them, but like you can ping us for questions and things like that.
Yeah. So if you're interested, the election process starts around June 1st, and the elections usually happen in October. They have part of the process is selecting a date and backwards planning and things like that. So if you're interested in that, please consider doing so. But also remember, since it's an official governance function, there is no affiliation like enforcement. But ideally, we'd like to see a set of diverse people there. And since Ihor CNCF, he counts as 0. So you'd be padding that up there. So it is a very important thing. It's very visible in front of steering. You're giving constant updates to both steering and the communities. It's also very rewarding. I don't know if you're like a governance dork or something like I am. So if you're interested in doing that, anybody have any questions for the group before we move on? Awesome. All right, mentoring. Who's got Meet Our Contributors? Or mentoring in general?
Let's see.
I'm looking lovingly over at Marky, hoping it's him.
I can't find the mute button, damn it. Sorry. Yes, mentoring. So group mentoring. Josh Burkus and Paris are working on group mentoring. I am working on the one-on-one mentoring. I can speak to the one-on-one mentoring. I have a schematic design flowchart of what that is going to look like. We are testing this out with a SIG, and so far it looks like it's working. Once we get a verification that we think we're where we need to be, there will be, we will then actually update our guidelines, and that will hopefully go out to other SIGs. That's where I'm currently at with that. Josh, would you like to give an update on the group mentoring?
There hasn't been, as far as I know, there hasn't been anything in the last 2 weeks. I was actually planning on getting a group mentoring after we finish with moving the NCW online, because that's a big task that I'm kind of intimately involved with. So, I mean, different target group, but still something that we really need to get out of the way. And Allison needs a lot of help on that.
Actually, speaking of that quick, I think the PR for that is done and ready for, and all the nets addressed. If people want to give it one final review, the link is in the agenda, but I'll also drop it in the notes.
Also to add, for those that might not know what Bob is referring to, the NCW is being moved in under mentoring, and the PR that is being referenced is the PR to actually move it. There'll be a new owner's file and whatnot.
Sweet. Anything else mentoring wise? Awesome.
That was all for me.
Thank you, Marky and Josh. Community management.
I have a few brief updates.
I am so buying you a headset. I cannot wait for this pandemic to be over just to buy you a headset. Okay, try again, Ihor.
Hello.
You're being super loud, Ihor. That's
All right. All the updates in the notes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Before we move on to that, let's see. For Meet Our Contributors, Paris is looking for folks from May, and she's soliciting folks from Kate's Infra, API, Node, Network, I guess the new API Expression Working Group, some others. if you are interested, please reach out to her. And it looks, let's see. Looks like we're planning a second Meet Our Contributors, and she will send something out about that later.
Alrighty. Anything else around mentoring? All right, community management. This is the need to know emails that we send to the co-chairs, for those of you who are not aware with this. What have we added there so far, Bob? We went over this morning. I know one of them is kind of reminding people that the Zoom API/plain automation might be a little bit busted.
If you pop open the link, we have 3 things on there right now. One, changes to the upcoming release cycle. If you haven't seen the emails from KDev, at this point, the 119 cycle is going to be extended just because of everything going on with the current global situation. And it's looking like we will only have 3 releases this year. That is a huge change from things in the past, but it sort of dovetails with all the work going into the LTS working group. All the various important links and things like that are in the email that was sent to KDev from Stephen. And there is a PR regarding the update to the schedule where comments are asked for. The general lazy consensus for that change is this Friday. The other announcement is just the thing about KubeCon and the Contributors Hub being virtual. Let's see. Next one was just the Zoom recordings and then the ongoing problems with that. And the last one was just a call for reviews on the chair TL like update. That one's not fleshed out yet.
No worries. Anything on the need to know chairs/TL's email? Have any of you been sitting in on those meetings at all? Just curious. Okay, all right, because I did before also. All right, APEC coordinator update. Anyone have any info on this? All right, no news there. Marketing update. This says Paris, but can anyone speak to this one?
Jonas, do you want to give this update?
Yeah, because it says steering is not approved final social guidelines. I don't know what social guidelines those are referring to.
I think that was regarding the Twitter account. And what
okay. Yeah.
Okay. That's Chris.
All right.
Chris handles the social part there.
Yeah, he's not here. No
I know
worries.
we've been discussing how to properly phrase everything within the social account when we send it out. So yeah, still working on that one. For the other part there, the communication meta blog went out. Really nice blog. We should link it there. So I'll make sure to post the link as well. And then the plan moving forward is to have some sort of automation going for sending out information on through all the channels. So we'll have an email get sent out to KDev, and that then spurs communications out through Slack channels, Twitter, and so on, over to discuss, depending on what kind of information we want. So I'm working with Rajula right now on that, and they just sent me a basic design that I'm going to look at later today. So automation is happening for messaging.
Cool. Anything else? Any questions? All right, moving on. GitHub management.
The only real update there is Ihor and I now have a monthly meeting scheduled with GitHub to discuss the various workflow changes and things that might be coming down the line, essentially for us to provide feedback and for them to have a one-on-one with us.
Awesome. Don't forget to try to get us the hoodies. Any questions for GitHub? Okay,
If you do
Slack.
have any, actually, one last thing. If you do have any specific things you'd like to see changed or workflow things that you think should be escalated, please pass it on to Ihor or I.
Dope. Okay, Slack Infra. Marky, you volunteered for this?
Yep, give some numbers updates. We're currently at 93,916. That is a 3% increase over the last 30 days, which is up 2,321. I just thought that would be cool to say.
Yeah, we're gonna be close to 100,000, and then Josh will go count, and the numbers won't match, and then we'll go crazy. But so I think this week, I think as we approach 100,000, I think it'd be a cool thing, like kind of milestone when we get there. So if you have anything clever or any ideas or something, what we should tweet or say, I think it might be something fun that we can do. So we're adding about what 2,000 users every 2 weeks, so a month maybe.
A month. We're a little bit over.
Cool.
So
Anything
we're adding
else?
about 4%, 3.5% per month.
Yep. Anything else Slack related? Oh, if you hadn't seen, Catherine Berry will be moving on from Slack Infra and the SIG and Kubernetes. So if you have a chance to thank her for all her work, she really saved the day in a lot of places. Anything else Slack related?
The moderation
all.
tool's still coming.
What's that?
Are the moderation tools still coming that were like planned a couple months ago?
For the regarding the channel specific admins, currently
Just wondering.
it's essentially on it's pretty much all been her. I'm kind of hoping that Jeff will be able to work on some of that stuff when he gets some more free time, since Slack has sort of been one of his things.
So there could be an opening there, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
If people have experience with the Slack API, work there would definitely be helpful, or help there would definitely be a plus. Slack itself, its API there are some things that are undocumented and other things that don't work quite well. So
I know.
Yeah.
Like my company does chatbots, so we deal with it all the day.
You've been
Facebook,
like, welcome to your first meeting. You're in charge of something. It's like it always goes. All right. Anything else on Slack before we move on? I'm cognizant of time here. Contributor docs. I see an update text here from Paris. Anything other than the general? She has internal requests in at Google and went for a few developer guide and testing docs. You want to talk about the Doxy thing real quick, Bob, without going too much in the weeds?
Yeah, so both the Kubernetes website and the contributor site are going to be migrated using the Doxy theme. I currently have an open work in progress version of that in the contributor site repo. I can link that in a bit, but as soon as the sort of little issues are resolved in the WIP, that will take over and be sort of the new prod or master branch for the contributor site. Still hoping to launch that in the 119 cycle.
All right, and that's it for contributor docs. And that is the open mic. All right, we did the intro. Just real quick, I'm playing with HackMD's with a namespace under HackMD for Kubernetes. If you want to play there, let me know. I don't want to change anything in the middle of all this, so we're going to keep the Google Docs for the notes, community meeting. However, I'm finding some really cool stuff that might help us in there as far as having markdown native notes and things like that synced into GitHub. So if you're interested in that, click through. Who's next? Paris. Can we build something that is a one-stop shop for all community group update meetings? Right now, we don't have a snapshot of group updates. They're stored on various playlists and community meeting agendas. It would also allow us to see who has not done one in the quarter and help out friendly reminders looking for ideas. I'm confused on this one. Isn't this what the community meeting does?
I think, well,
we should table that until she's here to talk about it, because I feel like we wouldn't really do it justice just by reading what she wrote. Lori, you're up next.
Hi, yeah, my internet went down a bit. So I've been working on a bunch of things, but primarily collecting info for the PR velocity topic to improve PR velocity. So what I've noted here is that I've collected a bunch of data. You can all look at it in the spreadsheets that are linked to there. Block PRs, the age of PRs, top reviewers. There's a lot of stuff, information there. So now the next step is to find the stories and the data to look at it closely and see what might be a signal for further exploration. Meanwhile, I'm also reaching out to SIG leads and chairs one-on-one to help Paris fill out the contact information spreadsheet. And while I'm doing that, I'm engaging them and, hey, would you like to talk about process? And then they're like, not so much. And I say, oh, well, I have some data. Would you like to look at that? And then they say, oh, yeah, that would be interesting. Please share. And so that's where we are with most of those conversations. But in some of the conversations, I've actually unearthed some interesting insights. For example, I'll start with the bottom. Yesterday, Tim Stromberg from Cluster Lifecycle released a pretty great triage tool that is already being applied to Minikube and Scaffold.
This looks really awesome.
Yeah, so like I shared it with Steven and he said this is like Kubernetes version 2. So there's a lot of good things about this effort. It prioritizes items and it also has a few examples that have already been tested. So he's looking for feedback, but this was super exciting to the process nerd me. Also, Cluster Lifecycle and API Machinery are running regular triaging sessions. So, you know, Tim is on that SIG. So there's a lot of nice triaging energy in that group. And then the dev stats dashboards have gotten some improvements this week, thanks to Wukash. So there's a GitHub issue and you can read more about that. But he's basically generated a bunch of new dashboards and improved accuracy of existing files and data that's used to generate those. And so there you go. Oh, wait, sorry, I forgot this one. I have an idea that there might be a useful, like there might be a need for a quick cheat sheet or just one page somewhere, maybe in a community repo, where people from SIGs can go and find some quick process tips as well as some of the tools and testimonials into how those tools were useful for different SIGs. For example, Kubernetes. Eric Fesa said to me yesterday, you know, we should highlight that tool again. This was before Triage Party was released, but he was basically saying, you know, we should have teams use this more often, but they may not even know where to find it and they may not see where it's been applied successfully. So maybe we would have a one-pager that just has that sort of information.
Yep, and I sent you a link to the contributor cheat sheet, which actually does exist.
Yeah, I've seen
but it's gotten much longer than a one-pager. It started off as kind of like something you can print and put on your thing, and but yeah, that does exist if you want to add it there. I know in the past we've had like the links to the Kubernetes and stuff on that, because there was a point where you kind of had to know someone to know it existed, kind of thing. Like we didn't have like a list of like, check the Kubernetes, you should check this, you should check this. Yeah, it was always like, ask Aaron, he'll tell you what to do. So we are moving away from that. This is awesome. Yeah.
So I could take a look at that and see if there's any room to edit it down, or I'll make suggestions. I won't go in there.
Yeah, or you can. I'm the original author, so you're not going to hurt my feelings. Yeah, but do be aware that it has been translated into a lot of things. So usually what I try to do is do one PR, then ping everyone, instead of like a bunch of little fixes, and then they, you know, then you get this like weird feedback loop with translations. So, you know,
maybe we
know, hey, I've done my set of changes for a while now. Now you can translate so that they're.
Maybe we keep the content and find a structure workaround so that there's no huge translation needs.
Yeah, but that is dope.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Hey. Sorry to pause here. I kind of want to take some time and set this tool up. Someone tell me that's a terrible idea.
The triage party?
Yeah. Maybe we'll do that after hours or something.
You need an API token, so I'd hold off for now.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Any questions?
I would love to see that I would love to see that set up.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We can make it a thing to bring up for the next meeting.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Any questions for Lori? Our maybe June host for the community meeting.
Well, I thought I was confirmed. Now I'm
no. Well, you're penciled. I wanted to give you the option.
Oh,
You always
okay.
have the option because we're way ahead of time. So if you want to bail, it's fine.
Yeah, no.
All right. All right. And other than that, I do have one final thing here before we move on to the planning. We had some people complain about a certain blog post that was posted to the public Kubernetes blog that we pulled because they had too much commercial content and had some technical inaccuracies. So call for help. Myself, Bob, Caitlin, and Taylor are on the blog reviewing team. So if you have technical knowledge and want to help curate incoming blogs to the Kubernetes, that's kubernetes.io/blog. That team we're always kind of looking for help. So I clearly, do not have the technical background to realize whether that, that was an error here or not. So I don't know if Hippie Hacker was raising their hand or willing to volunteer. Awesome. The channel is #sig-docs-blog. Just go in there and wave your hand. We're a little team and we have a little process. We're currently in the process of revamping how the community submits blogs to the official blog to make it obvious that it's like, hey, your product stuff does not go here. It needs to be open source. All those kind of rules, that stuff. So if you have strong opinions there, hang out there. And with that, anything else before we're moving on to the 1.19 triage? Okay, kick it over to Bob, and we're gonna do some board stuff.
Okay.
If you silently drop, I don't blame you. But let's do this. Let's get it done.
Let me pop open. So we're going to start with we have contributor docs, the contributor site, mentoring and marketing. Most of these have actually been triaged a good amount already. This is mostly if anyone else wants to sort of jump on and possibly take on some of the stuff that we want to get done this cycle, or they happen to see something that's flagged for next. With that, let's see. So here is the contributor docs board. Several of these are in progress. So the guidance on the commit message style and how to do reviews. These I'm going to be following up with Visha, who was our outreach intern last cycle, to sort of get these merged soon. A lot of these other sort of issues that we have here will be closed once those two are merged.
Yeah, I have a question, especially about the commit message style. In there, I left a comment. It's like one of those things where we pick a style.
But
you kind of need consensus from the whole project. So do we need to have that conversation kind of thing?
Probably going to remove the things that we were pushing and just go for general.
Recommended.
Yeah.
Just got it.
Make it clean, have it reflect the work that's being done.
Got it. So it's more of a best practice
yes.
than a guide. Yeah. Got it. That would make me feel a lot better. Yeah, because I was like, good luck trying to change everybody's opinion on how they do commit messages. Okay, good. All right.
The stuff that we had on deck is setting up a development environment. This is mostly our current development.md. Desperately needs to be updated. Mm-hmm. George, I know you were working with, I believe, Duffy or some other people internal to VMware.
Yes.
About it.
Yes. So a lesson learned here. I thought we would be clever and do a live stream on how to set up your perfect Kubernetes laptop. And we were going to import that document. And as a community, we were all going to fix it at the same time with Duffy as he walked us along setting up his laptop. And then we were going to commit it back. Got a lot of people saying it was a great idea on Twitter, nothing but likes, loves, and everything. And then no one showed up. So a lot of people listened along, but no, I couldn't get anyone to actually help me document in the thing. So this sheet is still not in an awesome shape. So if you wanted to set up your laptop, like when you see Ben or one of the cool kids, oh cool, they have all that stuff going. We don't have a.
You still want to work with Duffy on this?
Yes, I still want to do it. I'm just saying the whole idea that we're going to get on a live stream and crowdsource a piece of official documentation was not.
Can I go ahead and assign you them?
Yes, please. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. And I can't see in the Slack view, but is there anyone, if anyone else is interested in helping with this, the issue is 1644. Please go ahead and hop into the issue and self-assign.
Yeah.
Cool, hippie.
Hippie's on it.
This has been an ongoing issue for quite some while, revamping the developer guide. I think this is honestly something that's going to remain in Next, because it's going to involve poking essentially all the SIGs that have documentation and have them go through and update it. If anyone is interested in trying to spearhead that effort, we'll leave that to the contributor docs meeting, or if you want, you can chime in on this issue. It's still something we want to get done, but I just don't see it happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Document some test grid analysis workflows. This is an old issue from Tim. I know test grid has changed to become a bit more easier to get up and going. Is anyone interested in, well, first, does anyone know if this is still relevant? I believe it is, but it's been open for a while.
I don't think Tim is here. I can ping him.
Okay. If anyone is interested in taking this on, it's issue 2441. And please feel free to self-assign and toss it in ping one of us to add it to the 119 milestone. For now, we'll leave it in the backlog and schedule for milestone next. A lot of these other ones here, it's sort of the same thing. We don't necessarily know, some of the stuff I know isn't actually documented, but don't know if it's still relevant. As you can see, this one has been open since 2016. On some of these ones here that are like that, if anyone is interested in going through and trying to sort of vet those, that would be much appreciated. Then we can either close them, get them off the board, or decide where they should go in terms of priority. They've kind of been frozen forever, so I don't think it's the highest priority for a lot of people.
Yeah, and that next one is just a huge meta bug. We can skip that one for now, I think.
I think this has actually been updated already, but need to talk to, should ping Nikita about this one to see if it's still relevant. Chat. Oh, that's George.
I can speak to some of that. I work with SIG architecture on testing, and we're constantly working through to improve that. I didn't know that this existed.
And right now, it's again, it's been assigned to SIG testing and contributor experience here. I know the guide has been updated a few times. I just don't know if it is still considered stale or not at this point. So would you be willing to just
Yeah.
Cool, thanks.
Sign that to me, and I'll make sure.
Thank you kindly.
Hippie, you're more than welcome to come to every meeting now from now on. If you want to. I will wake up at 4:30 for you. Thank you so much.
API convention gives incorrect condition. I think there's actually an open PR about this one.
PR says merge.
Yeah.
Question is,
Make
did
it
it
more
solve the
descriptive.
issue? Yeah.
So.
No, the second PR 4521. That one didn't look merged.
Okay,
The one
update condition
above it.
gets. Okay, so this one's actually in
that's the one,
progress.
right?
That
Yeah,
one's
okay,
getting
okay.
updated quite a bit. So I'm going to put that one as actually this one should be in progress. And I have a feeling, just judging by how much that traction that has on that one, it will actually be done this cycle. So I will,
Yep.
there. This is another really, really old one.
Yeah.
So maybe for the contributor documentation meeting, just go through some of these really old ones and ping to see it and ask if they're still relevant.
Because I remember when Paul filed a bunch of these, it's basically all leads up to we need API documentation.
Yeah, this is,
yeah.
With that, I'm going to turf the rest of those old ones, just the regular contributor docs meeting.
Yeah, which
should be later today.
Yeah, it's like an hour. Okay.
So that one's another old one. That one's another old one.
Yeah, all the Paul ones are like,
yeah.
API docs.
API conventions should explain patch strategy. This one, I don't think we... This is pretty much pushing on them to... So let's see, SIG-Arch is because they own... Okay, SIG-Arch owns the stock, so... It should be fixed by... Okay, they have a whip open for it.
Dated to November, though. Oof.
Yeah. And Github's being a little slow. Oh, can ask Maria about it. Oh man, looks like there's been...
That was a juicy one.
Yeah. No, I will turf that one for now.
Yep.
This sort of goes along with the development.md.
Sorry, I sigh when I see any reference to the hack.
It's okay. That one is self-assigned. Again, I'm just going to leave that one over there for now. I don't, unless anyone wants to like volunteer and take that through, we'll leave it there. I think this one's actually been done. George, do you want to follow up on this one?
I don't even remember this. Just assign it to me. What have I done? All right. How did that one slip through the cracks?
There's been a lot of stuff that's slipped through the cracks.
I'm glad we're doing this. I'm also just like, what was I thinking? Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry if I'm like going through these really fast. We technically have like 20 minutes. We can bleed over into the issue triage meeting that immediately follows this. Since we're sort of doing that too.
Yeah.
But I want to be at least cognizant of people's time.
We could also just do the in progress and planned, and then save the backlog boring stuff for the issue triage one. You think that'd be more bang for the buck, or should we just serially go through each board?
Is there any boards that people want to prioritize going through?
For this meeting or triage meeting?
For this meeting. Like anyone that might have to drop in 20 minutes.
Okay, no, then I can hold.
Mentoring.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Someone said mentoring. Sold.
Okay. Let me go ahead and close out these other ones. In progress, index SIG contributor office hours. This is just because a lot of individual SIGs now sort of have their own little initiatives, but we don't have a good single source of these.
A list of all office hours repped from the calendar would be awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. So Sandra was working on it, but he's been delayed. We'll leave that where it is.
Yeah, he's not here today.
Yeah, NCW, that one is in progress. We talked about that earlier. Mentoring program. This is just a very long, outstanding issue that's...
Yeah, all of the individual issues that break out, like group mentoring, one-on-one mentoring, roll up into that umbrella issue.
Okay. Group mentoring, automation, and formation.
So I put a note on this ticket. It's my understanding that this will go, Josh, you're running this one with Paris, right? At least the action items that come from this or the work that'll go into this.
Yeah. Wait.
Yes.
Can we assign this to you and then unassign it to me just so we have proper tracking on it?
Go for it.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
And should I bump this one up to planned or in progress? Or do you think this is what will stay on the backlog for now?
I don't know. I need to talk to Paris. I haven't done anything on it since the last meeting, but then I wasn't planning to.
Okay.
In the intervening time.
Well, we'll leave that one there for now.
That's a good ninja move, though, Marky. I gotcha. I see what you did there.
One-on-one mentoring?
You taught me well. This can be moved into progress.
Okay. Should I move it to this milestone as well, or do you think it's going to be a couple cycles?
I think I can have the documentation and everything ready in this cycle, but
Yeah,
I
go
don't
for
think
it.
the full piece of this, like the full bulk of this work being rolled out to everybody, I don't think that will be in this cycle. But
Okay.
I don't think the way I read this initially, this is just to get the documentation and process down. And if that is the case, which is the way I read it, this can go in this cycle.
Yeah, because
Okay.
worst case, we could just bump it, right? If you only get a...
Yep.
Right, yeah.
Okay. Boxing up the contributor workshop. This one I think is definitely in progress right now.
Yeah, that's all. I would say all that's on hold,
On hold.
right?
It's currently being worked on.
Well, what I'm saying, it's not like... Well, scroll down. Like, what does boxing mean now versus...
It's essentially making it virtual friendly.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry, I read it. I thought boxing up as in like... Remember the idea we had with the traveling boxes that go with us?
Yeah. No,
okay,
this
not
is
that.
different than that.
Okay, gotcha.
And this pretty much has to be done
Yep.
this cycle with our current plans for the contributor summit, or the new contributor workshop. YouTube, meet our contributor updates. Need transcript. I think this one's going to remain in the backlog, because transcription is not going to be very feasible right now, unless there's a better like automated solution. Group mentoring.
That can this actually will be what George has taught me very well. Josh, I believe this can go to you as well. This falls under group mentoring. And that's not me trying to pass the buck. It's just trying to make sure that the owners are correct and that somebody's not thinking they're waiting on me to do something.
Yep.
Okay. Should I just go ahead and assign you, Josh?
Were you nodding? I think you were nodding.
I can't see.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead. I was coughing.
No worries. Making out like a bandit today, Marky.
The other thing, like, I probably should have mentioned this too at the beginning, but everyone is, impacted by, well, the current state of the world.
Yeah.
and it's much better for people to scope down what they think they're going to be getting this cycle, even though the cycle is being extended for essentially an additional month.
Yeah.
I
don't know how everyone else is doing, but I'm pretty much working like half time.
Wait, the cycle's being extended for an additional month? Can you clarify?
Ooh, look at the top of the notes. Really psyched.
So, yeah, I can send you information on that, Josh. Steven sent an email out to KDev if you want. Like, that has sort of the full
story.
Okay,
yeah.
this morning? I'll just look at KDev.
I think it was yesterday, I believe, or day before yesterday. Either way, I can send you links after this.
Peter's got the link there for you. Thanks.
Okay, cool. So this is learning workshop here. So this is, I think, related to boxing up. Make a one-stop doc for the, mentoring, Slack mentoring groups. Do you think I should put this one into this milestone or leave it in next? Oh, I think you can probably take a look at it later and then sort of decide if you think it'll be done this cycle or next. Add mentor available label. This one was an addition from docs. I think I will leave this one, punt this one to the actual mentoring meeting to be discussed. It's probably out of scope for just prioritizing right now. Okay. Power through mentoring. We have 10 minutes.
2 more with 11 minutes. Let's just do one so we're not rushing through the last one and then figure it out.
I have one if we can do it.
Do it.
Which one?
The contributor site.
Okay. Yeah, this one should be
93, I believe, which is in progress.
Convert.
Oh, where is it? I thought it was in progress. It's that one for the gen content.
Okay. Let me.
I believe it's issue number 93. Yep, there it is right there.
Yep. So I will drop this one over to this progress, and it's already currently flagged for this milestone. So the current high priority items are sorting out the issues with Doxy, and this is just so we can get over that and get it, get everything good for the 119 cycle.
Okay.
Let's see. If anyone is familiar with Hugo and Doxy, there are a couple things that would be super helpful. There's a couple rendering errors that I've been trying to troubleshoot and just haven't had the time to get to. The other one is, let's see, with the shift to Doxy, our previous work on the importing the calendar needs to be redone. So if you have a good amount of JavaScript experience or something like that, that would be very, very helpful.
These feel like things to throw out there with good first issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a little uncertain on the good first issue on some of the stuff. It's just for, well, it probably would be if it's for people that are at least more familiar with Hugo JavaScript and things like that.
Yeah, I'm just thinking if we can find the person who's experienced with Hugo, but is new to the project, this would be perfect.
Yeah. Or call front end people. Hey,
if you're looking for help, pop over here. Okay. That is a good idea. I will take a look at that later.
Yeah, I'd be happy to work on an announcement and call for help and all that stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Revamping the contributor guide section. This will also be impacted by Doxy. Most of the stuff is all blocked until the Doxy migration is complete, as is a lot of these other sort of backlog items. Once that is sort of done, some of the stuff should be pretty easy to get through. So I don't know, do people want me to walk this one a little bit more, or are we sort of good on the contributor site one?
it seems like this one is well understood problems.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oops. So we have a few minutes left, and the last ones is marketing. This one should also be pretty good. The ones that have been fairly active are pretty well triaged. Defining the hyperpath in multi-channel communication. I know that one should be done soon. This is a SIG profile storytelling. This is sort of the profiles of each SIG that will be posted as blog posts.
Oh, that's a good idea.
If you're interested in helping, please pop over to the mentoring sub project or ping Paris, or I think Rin Rin and Taylor are helping with this one too. You can see they've been claiming certain ones, just going through.
What a great idea.
This I actually think is done now. It's just part of the issue hasn't been closed. This is adding the contributor comms label to other repos. I'll just keep that open for. Okay, Nikita's keeping track of that one. Contributor Twitter account. This one.
I've seen it scroll by with Chris.
Yeah, this one is in progress. And I know the guidelines and all that, we're waiting on the things from steering, but that one's pretty well handled right now. And it's already slated for this milestone. Upstream marketing social media platform requests. So this, I think, goes along with the management of the Twitter account and things like that. If you have experience in this area, I'm sure it'd be very much appreciated. And the mentoring has a weekly meeting on Friday at, I think it's 11 a.m. Eastern time. This looks pretty well. The marketing team has been pretty on the ball with a lot of this stuff.
That meeting is too early.
Sorry. Meet our contributors. I believe this is for the APEC team. Don't know the current status of it.
I think we can put it in this milestone because that's kind of the only thing that the APEC team is working on. So it
Okay.
should be good.
Thank you, Nikita. Create a bot to push announcement to multiple communication channels. This was talked about in one of the marketing meetings, but I don't know its actual current status. I'm assuming just because it's in here, it's like someone, yeah, it has someone assigned to working on it. I will not touch that one. And this is another blog series that's being worked on for information discoverability. Again, I think this, I'll just leave this as is. It looks like it's done well. Alpha feature posts. This one Taylor was working on. One of the things we want to try and do for this release cycle is, or at least get a plan going for this release cycle, is a way for KEP authors, when a feature goes alpha, being able to publish it more to try and get feedback, end user feedback, and provide a means for end users to provide feedback before they go to beta. A lot of times people don't even think about investigating until it's beta already and essentially turned on by default. If you have ideas there, the issue is 4710. So I think he actually created the issue. I'll put me on, because I'm also the release lead shadow.
Way to go.
This is related to that in progress because that should be done. Community info G Suite issues. This one's been open for a bit.
Yeah, let's see what we're. Yeah, a lot of this reads nice to have because last time I was in G Suite Ehor, I don't know if you're in there, but it feels like it's been.
Yeah. Let's. Who's assigned this one? Well, okay, it's on us. We need to take a look at this one later.
Yeah.
Community meeting notifications. I think this is related to an MVP of for community meetings, tweets, emails. So I think this goes with the Twitter and some of the other stuff they were looking to blast multiple communication channels at once.
Yeah.
I don't want to change the status of this one just because Chris isn't around.
Yep, good plan.
So I will leave that one as it is. With that, we are through the boards with 2 minutes to spare.
1 minute to spare. Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So now.
Hey, I just realized with the extended cycle, we don't have to do this one. Like we've eliminated a whole set of doing this.
Yes. So now, at least for the majority of stuff that's in the community repo, this should be fairly accurate for the stuff that's being actively worked on or things we want to try and get done. If you want to tackle items, please take a look at this milestone first. And with that, we're done.
Awesome. All right. Does anybody have anything else before we move on to the issue triage meeting? Yeah. Are we doing any other incoming triage at that meeting?
We'll
see.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead, Hippie.
It was good to see everybody. I do have to drop before this.
It was good to see you. Okay. Anybody else?
Do you miss you?
My Slack is blowing up, so I'll answer all the questions when we get on Slack. Anybody else? All right. Welcome, everybody, and have a good rest of the week, I guess. Happy hump day. I don't know. Whatever midweek celebration you celebrate. Have a good one.
Yeah,
cheers, everyone. Stay safe out there.